she doesn't have any skill, and she just goes and is doing what she feels like is internally driving her, and her sister is a huge part of it. I know Katie Lotz wasn't in season 3 very much, but she was a huge part of a huge part of the season for me and my character, and the ambition and the drive for that. So, you know, I think Sarah Lance is definitely a huge part of her whole journey. Thanks.
Hi. So you've been doing panels now for a while, and I'd like to know, out of all the panels that you've done, did any cast that you worked with that you like doing panels with, or if you could create your own panel, who would be on your panel?
Oh my gosh, John Barrowman. Makes me look bad. He's hilarious, and he'll like bust out singing. Oh my gosh, recently he jumped out on stage dressed in drag. Full on, like comes out like doing this. What? Yeah. It was so funny. I was just oh, John Barrowman's the freaking best.
Thank you.
Hello. First of all, thank you for coming out here today. I have 2 questions. First off, in the first 3 seasons of the show, what would you say was your most challenging scene to do?
I have 2 answers. Most challenging scene, I have 2 scenes. The scene in the hallway with Oliver when he basically, you know, during Laurel's dark days, and she was drinking and being crazy, he calls her out and just says, you know, I'm not, like, you gotta stop doing this. I'm done being there for you, and everybody loves you, and you're throwing your life away. And it was a hard scene because it had to be that real, and that it had to be grounded, and it had to be, you couldn't force it. And I feel like season 2, especially in a lot of that, you can't force any of that, and I tried to stay in it as much as I possibly could, in character. When I was on set, especially, and when I went home, you know, I try and sort of not, I try to kind of go back to being myself, but definitely when I was there, you know, on set, I stayed in it as much as I possibly could. And then the second scene that I think was the most challenging was the scene when Sarah comes back and I see her with my parents, and I walk into the room, and I'm not going to necessarily say who I was channeling while portraying that scene, but I basically take a glass and I smash it, I throw it at my sister and tell her to get out. And again, another scene that I just felt like it had to be, you can't fake that. Like, it has to be so filled. It has to be so filled, but then all of it has to just be thrown out the window, and you have to be present and listening. And it was definitely tough, but it was, again, it was good, and I think it definitely made sense, and it was good for the character, and justified Black Canary.
Great, thank you. And just the second question, we've seen Stephen Amell do it countless times. We've seen Katie Lotz do it once.
Salmon ladder?
When are we going to see on the set?
Oh, hell yes. I'm hoping Steven's going to actually teach me this year, and I'm hoping, if he doesn't teach me while we're shooting, I'm going to make him teach me when we're like in the middle of setups or something, and we'll film it, and then I'm sure he'll put it all over his Facebook.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
So Laurel has a lot of run-ins with the villains on the show, and I was wondering who your favorite villain is.
John Barrowman. And what villain he is this season, you gotta watch. Thanks.
Hi. With working between 2 shows now, 3 coming up, how do you feel does it help develop your character more?
You mean go crossing over? That's actually a good question. As I was saying before, it actually was really challenging for me to go from Arrow to Flash because, again, like it was just timeless. Like I had no idea where Laurel was emotionally or just in general, like in time what her emotional state was. But then as I said, I watched episodes of The Flash, and I knew what the tone of the show was, and I knew that dark Laurel would not work well on The Flash. But I think it was nice because everybody, seemed to really like Laurel on The Flash, and you saw the lighter side of her, and it was kind of cool exploring that. And I think it just broadens the character, deepens the character. And as far as Legends goes, I think it'll be the same.
Thank you.
Cool, thanks.
Hi there.
Hi.
So first of all, yesterday at the Paul Blackthorne panel, he gave us some insight into behind-the-scenes stories with John Barrowman. Do you have any great stories about John Barrowman
So many stories about John.
that you can share and not get taken away?
Did you get, again, going back to our blooper reel from last season, did anybody see it? Or is that, it must be out. At the end of it, he's like, he literally in the middle of the take, he picks me up and I just went with it because why not?
It's John Barrowman.
It's John Barrowman. Yeah, he picks me up and he's like, thanking me. I have no idea what I said, but I just went along with it. It's definitely not PG rated, but it was definitely fun. You should watch the reel.
I will. And we also expect to see any Birds of Prey team-ups, because now we have 2 canaries. Are we starting to move in that direction? What can you actually say about that without getting fired?
That's what this panel has been all about. Yeah, there's a lot of, female, big, strong, pivotal female moments, and you'll definitely get to see a version of it. If I can say that. You'll definitely get to see a version of it.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi. If you got to choose any character development for Laurel, what would it be?
Character development, what do you mean?
Like something to happen, like
From here on out?
yeah.
We need to get Laurel some sort of romance aside from all of that. Just to mix things up a bit, but also maybe get back into the triangle with Felicity and, Oliver, the 3 of them, the love triangle. Explore that dynamic a little bit more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you could choose a character from Arrow that you would like to kick off, who would it be?
But I'd like to kick off.
This is not like Survivor.
I don't want to kick any of the characters off. I love them all. But you're really cute. Thanks.
Hey, I watch your show all day. I love your show.
Thank you.
And you do like training or martial arts?
I do. Especially between season 2 and 3, and then throughout this last year, I've been in kickboxing and then weightlifting and martial arts, and we've now brought the Tonkas over the next 6. I'm starting to train with those, so you'll definitely get to see those in season 4. And it was crazy. I mean, it was a lot. I talked to Mark Guggenheim, one of our producers, and a big part of our transition to season 2 to 3 was that it had to be believable, but physically, and that's, I think we did a good job at selling that, because, dude, I was waking up at like 5 in the morning to go train, and then work a 15-hour day. It was tough, but it was good. It was definitely worth it.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
I think that's about all the time we have. You have a charity held in Malawi? that I want
Yes,
to mention?
it's a nonprofit organization for children out of Malawi. Basically just giving them tools to be more healthy, well-educated, and it's pretty special. And you can actually have designed a piece of jewelry off of, I went there and spent 2 weeks with these kids, and you can buy it off of helpchildren.org.
Excellent. So everyone, let's have a big hand for Kate Cassidy. And Kate will be downstairs doing autographs in the media section.
Go Seahawks!